Welcome back to Black Girl Couch Reviews. I'm your host, Christina. We are back for another recap and review of Good Omens mini-series on Amazon Prime. This is episode 5, the Doomsday option. It is, of course, written by Neil Gaiman and directed by Douglas McKinnon. I will say, unfortunately, this is the weakest episode thus far for me. The last 4 have pretty much been hitting really close to perfection. And so it's not a slight, because it's not like this episode was bad per se. There were moments that were funny. It just was not as strong as the last 4, in my opinion. I did not enjoy, like, some of the characters. Like, Shadwell really doesn't work for me. If he's your type of character, he's great, but he doesn't work for me. Newt doesn't work for me. The one chick, Nutters, I never get her name right, don't even know it, but she doesn't work for me. So focusing on those particular characters, even though it was kind of funny seeing some of their scenes, particularly when Aziraphale inhabits Madame Tracy's body, that's when it got interesting between them. But before that, I really didn't care. And I really wasn't caring what was happening between Newt and Homegirl, the witch. But Crowley is the savior of the day. He is hilariously funny, and he continues to steal the show. And there was a lot of Queen in this episode, so I was definitely in my feels. I love Queen so much. You know, I have not seen the movie yet, and you know why? Because I do not want to be sobbing uncontrolled. I need to watch it by myself, alone. Is it on DVD yet? I don't think so. I haven't seen it. I thought I would definitely know when it comes on DVD, because that's a personal experience that I need to have in my living room with a big ass pint of ice cream. So Crowley walking around like a badass diva this entire episode while being serenaded with Queen at the same time was just everything. Hands down, he needs to win all of the awards. It's not to say that don't do it. Michael Sheen, you knew what I was about to say. It's not that he's not, he's awesome. Do not get me wrong. And them together is even just the best. However, David Tennant is definitely murdering this role. He is embracing just everything about his scenes are so rewatchable. Just So let's start with, I guess we're gonna go kind of not scene by scene, but chronologically about the episode. Oh, by the way, my score was I gave it an 8.7. So like I said, wasn't really my favorite, and unfortunately there were a few things that happened that just didn't click with me humorously as it was intended. We start the episode with the man of the hour as he okay, so this is supposed to be modern times, right? Why are they driving those do they still drive those cars in London? I don't, do they? I'm really confused. It feels very 1950s, or is it just, maybe I just don't understand it culturally. Like it looks like Harry Potter over there, for real. I thought that was just a movie. Oh, I need to go visit London so bad. That is definitely on my bucket list. You best believe before I am 40, that's going to happen. So Crowley comes blazing down the street, gets to Aziraphale's bookshop. It, of course, is on fire because dumbass Mr. Shadwell, who actually thinks that he exorcised a demon because he could not put 2 and 2 together and add to 4, because he's a fucking moron. I'm just gonna say that. I do not find him endearing whatsoever. And maybe I'm just still pissed about the books. But Crowley gets there. The one guy says, "Are you the owner of this bookshop?" And he's like, "Do I look like I'd be the owner of a bookshop?" Like, do you not see me? Okay? I got a fucking tattoo on my face. It's right there. So I love how he goes into the bookshop, snaps his finger for the doors open, snaps his fingers when he wants them closed. The thing with them using their powers or whatever this is supposed to, I'm gonna say powers. It feels like inadequate, but that's the closest I can get to what that is. But they use it in weird ways. Because then when they're thinking about getting the Tadfield, they're actually, well, at least Aziraphale uses his, but Crowley seems to use it when he feels like it. Because I'm thinking, bruh, can't you just teleport to Tadfield? Can you not just travel through the phone systems? Why you not know Adam's phone number? His parents are home. Because apparently everybody's parents are home and not concerned whatsoever about their children as they're hearing about crazy shit on the news. That is really crazy to me. And I would just put it out of my mind, except for the show keeps showing Adam's parents. So I'm like, why do you want me to focus on the fact that they're relevant when I then have to ask the question, why aren't you looking for your kid? You best believe. Let me hear some stuff like that in the room. Ma, get your ass in the house. Lock the door. Put the chain on. Anywho, he goes into the bookshop. He's screaming for Aziraphale. He can't find them. He gets blasted by a water hose. Goes down. And it's a nice visual scene. I love the way the fire plays against his character, especially when he's coming out and then, you know, he's got the broken glass because they broke his glasses. And he says, "Should I litter? I shouldn't. But I'm a demon after all." And litters his glasses because that's the worst he's going to do as a demon, is to litter. He is out of control. But he does salvage Agnes Nutter's book, the one book that seems to have escaped the entire fire, dun, 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 that happens to have all of Adam Young's information in it. Dun, dun, dun. Why am I making that noise? I do not know. I just feel like that's important. But Crowley proceeds to go to the bar. We already discussed Shadwell. He thinks that he exorcised the demon with his hands. And then we'll follow up with him in a second. But I love when he went to the bar, because this is more important. And he's asking for another round. And I love when he was, what was, it was My Best Friend. What was on when Crowley was driving to the bookshop. I can't remember what song was preceded when he came out of the bookshop. Now I'm sad. But he's drinking heavily and he's talking about it. He's like, "Waiter, another one." And as soon as the waiter comes on, he's like that drunk at the bar that wants to tell their whole entire life story. Like, I don't even understand why I'm a demon. You know, one day Lucifer and his demons just showed up and I was like, you know, the food's kind of shitty here. Let me go out and party with the boys. And next thing I know, I'm in a fucking vat of burning sulfur. He just don't understand. He just doesn't understand how he got here. He's like, I was just chilling, man. But Aziraphale appears before him because we do get the scene in which Aziraphale goes back up to heaven. And this was the scene that did not work for me. Not much at all. I'm not sure who that actor is either. He felt very familiar, but I did not know where he was from. But he's yelling at him like, you showed up late. They keep bringing up the flaming sword. That was the best part of the scene. Like, hey, hold on. Let me check the roster. You're supposed to have, a flaming sword. It's not my fault. You cannot blame me for being a human being, man. I did what I did. And he tells him that he needs to get in line, that you got a whole platoon waiting for you. So he is in charge of an actual army of other angels. So he's pretty higher up. He's guardian of the Eastern Gate. Is that what they called him? And they go back and forth, and they talk about the fact that he's been discorporated. So that means you don't have a physical body in which to walk around Earth. So that's kind of interesting. And he also tells him that he's not getting a new body and he can't get back down to Earth, when Aziraphale tells him, no, I still got some things I got to do. And that's when Aziraphale sees the big old fat globe of Earth, and then it didn't read funny to me. He's like, get away from there. But he didn't make no steps towards him. What are you doing? Stop that. I'm just kind of like, okay, this doesn't, I mean, I guess it's heaven. So that's the most, maybe that's what the joke was. This is the most they can be. But I feel like maybe we just seen Gabriel and not Gabriel. Well, Gabriel's kind of a douche too, but really Michael and the gangster crew, they seem to take more action. Huh. Meanwhile, Aziraphale appears before him, and Crowley's like, Aziraphale, is that you? I love how he also, when he drove away, he got another pair of sunglasses out. He just has an endless supply in his glove compartment. And Aziraphale's like, yeah, it's me. I've been discorporated. And he's like, oh. And he's like, you know, what does he say to him? He was talking about how he really screwed up. Aziraphale, that is, that he mucked things up this time. So he's trying to apologize, and he's like, and I really want to make this right, or something to that effect. And I just they said it's endearing, and I love that they had this lovey-dovey music going on in the background this entire time. It was kind of very Young and the Restless. And Crowley says, you know, I'm having a bad day. I lost my best friend. And Aziraphale didn't go over him, because he's like, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm like, bruh, he's talking about you. Aziraphale tells him, you need to go to my bookshop. There's something you need to pick up. And Crowley lets him know, I'm sorry, your bookshop, it burned down. And Aziraphale's look of absolute devastation. He's like, all of it? Yeah. I didn't even do it justice. Just his acting choices are so peculiarly awesome. They just work. Everything about what he's embodying works. And he tells him, you know, he needed to get this book for him about that the girl on the bicycle left with him. And Crowley's excited because he's like, oh, at least I can give you some happy news. Look, I got it, souvenir. He's like, no, I figured it all out. I know where the Antichrist, Adam Young, is. He's in Tadfield. All his information is right there. And I need to go find me a way to get there, but you need to get your ass to Tadfield. He says you need to get wiggle to it, or something to that effect. He's like, what? He's like, I heard what you said is the wiggle. Wiggle out, something like that. So then we go to Shadwell, who goes home. Madame Tracy, because he tells him he tells her what he did. And she's like, oh, okay, you need to take a nap. And he proceeds to take a nap. I was very surprised by this. He was passed out in a room that seems to play into some sexual fantasy with a lot of kid toys. Just really weird. And a whip. But he also says that no one has done what he has done. He's the most powerful person. He's very much on his own high horse. Houster escapes from the answer machine in a peculiar. As soon as I saw the scene going on, I realized what it was. I was like, oh, and it would have been funnier or better if they hadn't shown that Hauser was still in the answer machine. Like, they showed that scene right before they went into this. It would have been 10 times better, because the scene that preceded it was awesome, even though it was terrible. But that was his best asshole moment, is when he got out of the answer machine and killed everyone there. And said he needed that. But yeah, she's doing code calling, and she calls Crowley's phone, and he gets out. And he goes straight to where Crowley is stuck in traffic on M25, which is encased in a ring of fire. This was something that Crowley himself is responsible for. They have this flashback to the 1970s. Well, he's having a presentation in front of hell, letting them know that this is going to be the hell of fire. And he moved some signs in the middle of the night and did some calculations and figured this out. So now it's come to bite him in the ass, because he refuses to do anything. But he refuses not to do anything except drive. He's like, I'm going to drive my baby. My Bentley is my baby. And he is not kidding about that car. That car is his ride or die. So Hauser shows up in the passenger seat, because he's got to think of something, which is to conveniently go on the side road where no one else would think to go. Driving their car like, maybe I should get in this other lane, because I totally should follow the rules right now. But he decides to go through the fire, the whole fire thing. Hauser's like, we can't do this or we'll be discorporated. And he is promptly did so, because he said, this is going to catch up with you. Hell's never going to forgive. Even after this is all over, you're still going to have your come ups, and I'm going to be there to witness it, pretty much is what he's gleefully saying. And he discorporates because he doesn't have the thing that Crowley does, which is imagination, and that can do American attitude or human attitude. Like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna do it. All I gotta do is pretend that I'm not driving in a ball of fire and rubber and burnt metal, and I can disillusion myself into fucking anything. He's definitely in touch with his human side. So he gets his ass through the fire. We see it's hilarious a little bit of the one scene where the officers are staring at the fire. This was not funny, because they're like, so we'll get so-and-so or backup, whatever. And they said, all I would know is nothing's coming through this. And then Crowley does come through this, and then the scene got hilarious, because he just waves at them. And he said, what was that? He's like, someone else's problem. He said he just waved. His car is completely on fire, and I love that it proceeds to be on fire the rest of the entire episode. I thought that was a nice through line. And he's got some Bohemian Rhapsody going. We get a scene with Madame Tracy where she's doing a seance with a group of people, and Aziraphale co-inhabits her body. It's not a funny scene at all for me. Did not work. I didn't. So Shadwell hears her talking to someone, and they introduce themselves. Aziraphale's like, so the end of the world's happening. We need to get to Tadfield. I need you to find the boy and kill him. And he's like, I don't know about that. He doesn't say he's a boy. He says you need to find the beast and kill him. And he's like, is it like a witch? Or he's like, yeah. And he starts talking about women. And Aziraphale's kind of like, sure. And they decide to go. They get on a bike that's going really slow, and she says it'll take a miracle to get us there. And of course, that's exactly what Aziraphale does. He uses his magic angel dust power or whatever. Then we see the Four Horsemen. I'm saving Adam and his friends for last because that's where we end with them. The Four Horsemen start to ride. They've been waiting for this ride all their lives, and now it is upon them. They all show up in motorcycles, even Death. They introduce themselves. They seem to be old friends. I never thought it would be like this. They salute Death. That seems to be their master. And they say his tea is getting cold. Yeah, that's what she orders, 4 teas. What? And they meet at a diner. And then he's like, now we ride. I love that Death was playing video games. They ride out into town of Tadfield, and they get lost. They stop and ask for directions, and I guess this is again some British humor about how no one gives really correct directions. There's a through line to English, because some people like go left and then you gonna roll right and then you gonna turn 10th on. It's the equivalent of that, but in a British way. So I wasn't relating as well, but I got it. Def's like, he's like, Sam was like, I didn't get any of that. Def's like, I did. Let's go. They get to the airfield base and begin the end of the world. They're getting off on this tremendously. I do love how the closer it gets to the end, they continue to they lose their human form, and they start, because Famine looks really awesome with them teeth. Them teeth are terrifying. He looks more terrifying than Death when he takes off his mask or his whatever. Because I like the line though when he says, I do not serve heaven or hell. That was pretty awesome. And I think that leads us up to Crowley coming into town. And he too is lost, does not know where the Air Force Base is. And the dude just wants to tell him very badly, your car is on fire and you're still sitting in it, you fucking moron. And Crowley's like, yeah. Toodles, I gotta go. We also get a scene where Newt, and I still can't remember the other girl's name, the witch. They have a talk, because the first one they were talking about, that was great. Then she's kind of standoffish, like always. He's like, I don't understand why this is important, kind of makes fun of it. All the prophecies, like, why don't you just follow your own stuff? She's very dedicated to Agnes, like, all of my life has led to this, and it's them going back and forth until they get to the military base, where they sneak in. He thinks it's going to be really hard. He pretty much is a bitch. And she's pretty, I don't know, bitchy. But that's all I really have to say about them, because like I said, I did not care for that pairing. I'm sorry for those that are shipping it. Unfortunately, I am not. Then we get with Adam and his friends. Adam and his friends, having a really, really tough time of it. Adam is flying up in the air. He tells them, you guys are going to meet my new friends. Don't worry, I need y'all to talk. After he's made them smile, he's forced them to smile. He's like, say something. Why don't you say something? And Pepper looks at her face. She points to her mouth and a tear pops out of her eye. And he's like, stop crying. Adam's such a dick. He's like, don't worry, you guys are gonna meet my new friends. It's gonna be super cool. He rises up above the clouds and is like, come to me. They hear the call. That's when the when they ride out of the diner. And there goes my neighbors once again, because they're the loudest people on the damn block. Like, seriously. Anywho, he gives them back their mouths. He kind of chills down a little bit. Like, you know, it's cool, guys. I was just tripping a little bit a second ago, but you guys can still totally rule different parts of the world. I'm going to keep you with me. And you can have, what did he give? He gave one America, and he gave Pepper Russia, and I can't remember Pepper's. And he's gonna keep England. That's the one I remember, because she's like, well, we want to be here too. That's where our families are. He's like, no, you're not. You're gonna do what I tell you to do. And they're just fed up. They're like, you know what? We're done. He's like, we're gonna play a game. We don't want to play no fucking games, Adam. We out. You've been treating us like shit all day. You closed our mouth. They seem to be a little daft, because they have not clued on into the fact that this dude has powers. Like, they gonna watch his ass levitate, yet when he makes all these people go to sleep, they're like, what? I was like, guys, are we not paying attention? Like, did none of y'all have Sunday school at least once? Everybody's been at least forced to Sunday school, right? This seems like that kind of town too. But they said, fuck this, we going home. They start to walk off. Adam's like, you know what? I don't care. Go on. Be about your business. Be about that life. But then he's like really hurt when Dog leaves too. Dog's like, nah, you turned to an asshole. Even the demon dog has turned against his master. Like, I thought we was cool. I thought we was better than that. I don't even know you right now. I don't recognize you, son. He does not like the fact that they're leaving him. He chases them. No one else sees this levitating kid in this park that they go into. And he tells them, stop, you can't go. And they're like, no, we're going. You've been a dick. You closed our mouths. Wait, there was a previous scene where it was like, what else could he possibly do to us? He's like, he could kill us. He's like, well, you can go. He's like, well, I'm out. Yeah, me too. That's when they all left at the same time. And that's when he chased them down. Like, you can't leave me. He's like, oh no, wait. He said, give me back my dog. And Dog just barked at him like, no, bitch, you deserve this. We all leaving you. And he comes to the realization that he has been a very, very, very bad boy. And he does not want to lose his friends, because Adam is still in there. Because he's not an evil person. Just because he's the Antichrist, it seems that he has a power over the coming events that trigger him. Because Pepper even asked, like, what happens to you? Which is a good question. What happens to Adam after he rebuilds the world? Does he just become the new Adam? And he's gonna make Pepper his Eve? This is not very clarified to me. That's a very interesting question. So he comes back to himself. He passes out. His friends do come to him, but I love, what was it, Brian? He picked up that paddle real quick. He's like, I am not afraid to take your ass out. Now that you're vulnerable, make a move. Make one move. I will clock you. He wakes up and he's like, I'm sorry. And that's all it takes. I love that that's all it takes. These are some ride or die friends. They start walking home, and he tells them to get their bikes. They got to meet at the military base. The end of the world, it's right around the corner. Then, as they're going to the end of the world, the military base, they get that typical stop by the neighborhood snitch that always be talking that shit. And I love that they all just went back into formation. Like, don't matter what happened just before. They all ganged up on this dude. He's like, I don't think I ain't going. What your parents think about y'all being out like this? Oh, we didn't know we needed your permission, bitch. He's like, Adam Young, I know you ain't shit. That's basically what he's telling him. Pepper sticks her tongue at him. She's like, I don't think I won't talk to your mama too. Then they step off. He's like, I'm watching you little street heathens. He didn't say those those exact words, but that's what he meant. And then they get to the military base. This is the scene where we catch up with Crowley and Aziraphale. The Four Horsemen get in easily because they just somehow use power to magically just be some type of military folks, and they get in. Then they kill everybody in the room and take over. We have Aziraphale and Madame Tracy and Shadwell roll up, and the one dude's just being mean to him. He's giving him a hard time. He's being a bitch. He's doing his job because he's like, I'm not about to let y'all up in here. I don't know what you're talking about. And of course, you know how Aziraphale gets when he does not get his way. He gets all stuffy. And of course, just when he needs his boo-boo, Crowley pops up in his flaming car. I love that the one dude's like, what the hell? His whole entire face is like, that is not right. That's not okay. That's not even healthy for that man to be like, someone get a fucking pail or the fire brigade, something. And he gets out of the car like, sup. I love how Aziraphale said, he's like, Crowley. And he tells him immediately, he's like, this person's being mean to me. And Crowley's basically like, I'll take care of it, babe. I got this. But before he even does anything, the gates open. They're like, who did that? And it's Adam Young, the Antichrist, with his powers, and they roll through in bicycles. And he chases the kids like, oh, hell no. He's like, everybody's in trouble. That's all I'm about to say. Everybody's in trouble right now. Then we end the episode with Adam telling his friend, first they get surrounded, Adam and his friends, by military. And he tells the military, it's okay. It's cool. It's fine. Go to sleep. And they promptly fall down. Pepper and them are asking questions like, so are these your friends grown-ups? He's like, yep. So what kind of people are they? Because I'm not fully comprehending right now what's going on. Like, they're not clicking the red eyes, demons, anything like that. Nothing is sparking their imagination right now. They have no idea what's about to happen. Because he says, I'm here, and he gave the call. Armageddon is like 17 minutes away. 17 fucking minutes away is Armageddon. I don't know what Adam's gonna do. Because he's like, these is not... Because he tells them what they're going to do. Like, you can't, there's nothing here. It's boring at this base. And he's like, yeah, these people are pretty powerful, my friends. I'm the Antichrist, by the way. Nice to meet you. Adam Young is my other name. I'm going to go ahead and hit that finale. Can't wait to see what's going on. If you want to leave a comment or anything, answer my questions, you can leave that at blackgirlcouch@gmail.com or comment on this podcast. You can find this podcast on Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean at Black Girl Couch Reviews. My social medias will be below. Until next time, peace.